Jared, one of the things I love about this time of year is it's a season of anticipation and waiting, and doing that with a great sense of hope. And when I think about this year and what, with our centennial, when I think about the hopes and dreams of the people that founded this company 100 years ago, and I translate it now to the next 100 years, and I think about our hopes and dreams, I feel very, very hopeful when I think about what we've accomplished over the last year. Even as we were celebrating our centennial, we were setting the strong foundation for the next 100 years. So I'm very grateful for that.
Mark, I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, when we were doing our employee visits this year and we were doing the 100-year celebrations, it was so exciting to see all of our employees in the engagement, in the Q&A, and the questions, talking about the last 100 years and engaging in questions around the next 100 years. And when you talk about hope and you talk about that excitement, I think for me the takeaway was, when I think about just all the hard work of all of our employees the last several years, the work we're doing, how it culminated in 2017, I too get pretty excited when I begin to see how that light really shines and how much our employees engage and lean into that. That was exciting this year.
One of my favorite traditions of this time of year, number one for me is going to church on Christmas Eve. And it's in my faith tradition, it's really important. It's a time of birth and incredible hope. And so going with a community, and with often the lights are low. There's a lot of kids in the church, and we're singing Christmas carols, and it has a tremendous sense of joy. And then knowing that when we're done, it's actually Christmas, and then we go off and we have our own family celebrations that follow that. But that to me that's number one, my favorite tradition.
My favorite thing to do is cook a breakfast in the morning, Christmas morning, and it's French toast. And the French toast is always a little bit of a surprise to it, but I've learned that my children have augmented my tradition the last few years, because my daughters have decided they don't actually like bacon and sausage anymore. So now I bridged into turkey bacon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say tofu.
No, well, it's funny you say that. The last couple of years it was turkey bacon, and this year I've been informed that there's this type of tofu that both of my daughters want me to do. So I've had quite the learning experience, and so one thing about our traditions is they just keep evolving.
Yeah.
So my favorite holiday tradition is watching Christmas Story with my kids and my father. And the reason why is because when my father was 7 years old, like Ralphie, he wanted a BB gun. And like all the parents and adults in the Christmas Story that says, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid," my dad actually shot his eye out when he was 7. And so he thinks it's the funniest movie he's ever seen. We watch it every year, and we all laugh when the first time they say, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid."
It's amazing he can laugh at it. That's a good thing. But did you get your kids a BB gun?
I did not get my kids a BB gun.
Learning lesson. All right.
What's your favorite holiday tradition?
What we love to do is after Christmas Eve dinner, we all get in our matching pajamas, and we watch our favorite holiday movies. We all curl up, the 4 of us, on the sofa together, and we watch our favorite holiday movies.
Our favorite holiday tradition has become building gingerbread houses. Get to build and eat at the same time. What about yours, Steve?
Well, with 3 young boys, we started a tradition where I would set a booby trap to keep them in their rooms before Christmas morning, because they weren't allowed to come out until a certain time. So that's persisted.
Excellent. Well, a 16-year-old daughter today, she was about 4 years old at the time. She was our only child at the time. And the night before Christmas, she was incessant that she had to open up a gift. She had to open up a gift. She had to open a gift. To the point where it was making the night less than enjoyable. So we relented. And we said, go pick a gift. She picked out a gift, and it was pajamas. It was holiday pajamas, because we were traveling, and it was something we wrapped up. You could audibly hear her hopes just get shattered. And so, fortunately, she didn't bother us for the rest of the night about it. And then the next year, she did it again. And I engineered it such that she would get pajamas
Another
again.
set?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And so now it's just become a holiday tradition. Now with all 3 children, we do that. And it's funny to watch each child go through the wave of the Christmas pajama feeling cycle of just shattered hopes and disappointment the first year, slightly less the second year, then begrudging acceptance, to now they're all at the age where they actually really enjoy getting.
So will there be pajamas waiting for them?
Absolutely. Every year.
Amazing. what a neat tradition.
Yeah. So it's my favorite tradition. It probably explains why I'm not getting any Father of the Year trophy sent my way.
I think so. I would concur. But thanks for sharing. Our tradition is really waking up in pajamas, just having a blast making breakfast together. I think we make the best breakfast brunch there is in town, bar none, and you can challenge me on that. And then we open presents, and then we definitely find a way to do some Christmas caroling, and then we just kind of hang out. And I love doing that. That's my favorite time of the year.
So for me, it's always connecting with my family, both here and in New Zealand, my mother and 4 generations. So sometimes I get to spend it there, sometimes here. It's a wonderful time.
That's great. It always seems less magical at the mall. But in any event, ever since my kids were little, we always let them open one present on Christmas Eve, and it was new pajamas that they wore on Christmas Eve and then again on Christmas morning. Now that they're in college, I have no idea what they wear to sleep in. Wow. It's a more challenging tradition, but it's still my favorite one, nevertheless.
My favorite holiday tradition is going out with my wife and finding the biggest Christmas tree we can find, bringing it home with all the debris falling from the car to the house, and then decorating both the tree and the house. And through that process, really engaging with my wife and having great conversations and reflecting on the year and thinking about what we're going to do in the future. What do you think about that?
That sounds really fun. We also cut down our tree, and this past weekend when we were doing it, my husband was like, "Can I get a little help here?" And the tree's falling over on my daughter, and we were laughing so hard. So that's a great tradition. My favorite holiday tradition is every year I give my kids matching pajamas. On Christmas Eve, they're allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve, and they have matching pajamas. So it's been going on for years and years and years, and I just love it.
My favorite holiday tradition is to give red envelopes to people, to give them the best wishes for the next year.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, look at those. Those look fantastic.
This is for you now.
I'm jealous now. Well, I wish I had one for you, but our tradition, we've traveled, I think 9 moves in 25 years.
Wow.
So we've collected Christmas decorations in every country from Asia to Europe to the US.
That's awesome.
And so as a family, we decorate the tree, and it brings back great memories.
You want more?
My favorite holiday tradition is when we get out the Christmas tree and get out all of what I call the kid ornaments. So where the kids are actually pulling out all the ornaments they made in school when they were little and their pictures, and they're putting it on the tree. And the interesting thing is it's almost like every year's a new year. So they're pulling it out like they've never seen it again. Trust me, it takes like a day to decorate our Christmas tree because it becomes such an event for them. That's my favorite.
Well, mine is my wife makes this sausage soup, and we all gather around the table. All the family comes. All my kids are out of the house, so we gather and we pick a spot in the city to go see lights.
Oh.
And often it might be downtown. It might be a light festival, and we do that sometime between now and the end of the year.
All right. Well, my favorite thing about the holidays are we've got a couple of great family traditions. One, we always make Christmas cookies together. We always travel to Arizona to see my wife's family, but mostly it's just spending time with my family is probably my favorite thing of the holidays.
From all of us to all